I've thought back and forth myself as to whether I should make a video on this topic with the little insight we have at the moment, but I've come to the conclusion that it is my duty as the resident lore guy to cover the Lost Tapes plotline as it releases, as so many of you are stuck on console or have moved away from playing the game but still follow my videos. In Update 236, we received the first expansion of the mainline Payday story in over 5 years beyond the events of the White House. Of course, all of the post-2018 DLC campaigns are functionally prequel side stories, occurring prior to that final heist and the Payday gang's lucrative retirement. We've been stuck in that limbo for over 4 years, and whilst I initially thought the side stories would flesh out parts of the Qatari narrative after Silk Road, in the end it simply widened the gang's stories rather than deepening them, hence why the side story series has not yet found its way into the complete Payday timeline. So that's what makes this lore dump so tantalising for fans invested in the future of the Payday series. It seems like the status quo is finally going to change, setting up some of the potential factions and characters we're going to be familiar with shortly in Payday 3. I'm not going to dwell on exactly how to unlock the safe required to listen to the tape in game. My fellow partners have covered that well enough already, and I'm uncertain as to whether it being found on Murky Water's Potomac adjacent warehouse actually has any lore relevancy. Just know that this tape can be acquired by finding a safe and 2 keycards on the Shadow Raid heist. Instead, I'm going to attempt to elucidate the meaning of these leaked tapes and exactly who it is we're listening to. Because believe it or not, both characters already have ties to Payday 3, and one is actually a recurring character added over 9 years ago. Oh, and I also plan to speculate on where this storyline will take us, as well as the overall purpose of these tapes, as we've got 3 more to come, yet only 2 known updates on our radar. Let's drop in and have a listen as Locke introduces us to the downfall of Gensec.
By the time the gang set their sights on DC, Gensec was everywhere. Felt like they had a vault in every bank, a keycard for every door, even had their own bloody troops. Gensec was the best security money could buy. But even the best couldn't stop the Payday gang. The heist has cracked open so many Gensec locks, it's ridiculous. Couldn't have been a good look. When you're a security company that can't keep anything secure, well, what's the point of you?
Do you have any idea what time it is, Valeri?
I know, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have bothered you if it wasn't, But how are you? How's the bank?
How's the bank? Jesus, is this you trying to do small talk?
I was just, we haven't talked in a while, just catching up.
You're stalling. Say what you have to say.
You asked me to keep you ahead of the curve on any big developments?
Uh-huh.
Well, there's gonna be some bad news at the Gensec shareholders meeting tomorrow.
How bad?
We're pulling out of the DC market.
What?
Most of our clients are terminating their contracts. Even Metro PD's pulling out. We've lost our foothold.
Garrett's dropping us? That can't... How did this happen?
It's the crime wave. The clients have lost faith in Gensec's abilities.
But that doesn't make sense. A crime wave should increase the demand for security.
Not when it's right under our nose. Look, Gensec completely saturated the DC region. We're every camera, every truck, every access card. The clients that got hit are looking for someone to blame, and we're an easy target. Our security failed.
Bullshit! Gensec is top of the line!
It doesn't matter. Robberies in DC are at an all-time high.
Those stats are fucked, and they know it. This isn't some ambiguous crime wave. This is the fault of one group. One. That fucking Payday gang.
You're not wrong.
We've been fighting a PR nightmare ever since they hit Gensec Arena.
Yeah, that DJ tweeted some nasty memes about our vault.
The DJ can go fuck himself.
And the day they hit all our armored transports at once? Devastating.
The Payday gang is an anomaly. Each heist is a 1 in a million scenario. You have to make the clients see that.
There've been a million 1 in a millions. The damage is done. DC is dropping us, and the Gensec stocks are gonna take a hit. A very, very big hit. Miss Shark? Are you still there?
Someone's going to fucking pay for this.
So that's a fair bit to take in. I know I needed a few listens before I picked up on all of the important details. Basically, Gensec are in trouble. Their share price is contingent on providing faultless security, and with the Payday gang's crime spree in mind, it seems all their major clients are terminating their contracts, including, believe it or not, the Washington PD. Now, Gensec are a big company, large enough to hold a seeming monopoly on the capital and sponsor a mega arena, as we were reminded from the Alesso heist. Honestly, of all the past heists to be brought up in 2023, Alesso's was not the one I would be picking, but I'm here for it, as it means the team working on Payday's modern narrative are very familiar with our roots, even the more obscure ones. In any case, they're large enough to stay afloat despite it all, but understand what's bad for business, and so are planning to pull out of DC. You might think, oh, so this is just Overkill tying up loose ends and capping off the Payday 2 storyline to start fresh with Payday 3, except, like I mentioned, at least one of these characters is likely to have a huge role to play in the next game. The other one, by the way, is also a named figure. Jacob Falere is a recurring background character as the Vice President of Gensec. He appears both on the Gensec website and the original Deathwish teaser webpage from early 2014. His likeness seems to be a young, naked-faced Elmir Listo, for what it's worth, making that, his third canon appearance in the game? In any case, I don't think Jacob is the important party in this one, but it is absolutely exceptional to see Overkill calling back to something that me and 5 other people on the planet might be aware of, so props for that. Also, one thing I immediately noted was this confirms all armoured transport heists took place on the same day, which is pretty impressive to imagine, bearing in mind there were only 4 members of the crew back then. Probably an oversight from whoever wrote the script, or just testament to what a force of nature the Core 4 with Houston really were. Anyway, back on topic, did you happen to recognise the other names speaking on the tape? One, Ms. Shark. Well, if you did, it's probably because you poured over the first Payday 3 screenshots we received a while back, showcasing concept art of a huge-scale bank robbery. The branch name, Golden Shark, is almost certainly owned by the very same shark we're hearing from now. Hell, Falere even asks how the bank is, if it couldn't get any more obvious. She sounds like a force to be reckoned with, and some might speculate will be the reason that the Payday gang ends up back in business in New York after hurting her investments in Gensec over in DC. I'm doubtful this will be the case, but undoubtedly we're listening to the setup of some sort of antagonist for the game moving forward. And whilst this tape doesn't give us a whole lot to go off, discussing one of the least interesting and developed factions in Payday 2, Gensec, what really excites me are the future Lost Tape editions coming over the next few weeks. If we take a look at the page in CrimeNet, we can see 3 impending releases, and the speculation right now is that these will cover the future actions of all the Payday gang's most notorious rivals. The first showcases a prison cell, which might have you thinking this will be all about Garrett and the DC Task Force's next actions, which could be the case, but equally possible is that this next tape will be all about Murky Water after they file for bankruptcy and lost their Kataru leadership, or even the Overkill MC. Next up, we have what looks to be a diamond of sorts, more likely the Blood Diamond. This one is probably the one I'm least certain about, but it does have me thinking about the Garnet Group, another faction we've stolen from quite frequently. Maybe they'll remain a high-value target over in New York. Finally, the US flag will surely give us more information about what President Bain has been up to after the world's most supernatural coup of the presidential office. I'm 99% certain that the true secret ending will be taken as the canonical one, and this flag might be another clue that this will be the case. Regardless, I'm incredibly excited to see where the writers choose to take things in the final months of Payday 2, as Bain's new role is likely to be a difficult loose end to tie up. But do remember, Payday 3 should be taking place roughly 5 years after many of these events. Clearly, this is true setup for Payday 3, and if we look at the timeline for updates, we have the release of the new Chinatown music pack on the 17th of May, the Crude Awakening heist on the 20th of June, and then nothing else has been confirmed. From my perspective, that means at least one final update will follow on from the end of this DLC run to cap off Payday 2's storyline and truly prepare PC heisters for the transfer over to Payday 3. Now, what I'm most curious to hear is what your theories are as to the upcoming Lost Tapes. Do you agree with my speculation, or could these tapes be introducing entirely new factions to the universe? Remember, not everyone who picks up Payday 3 on launch will have played Payday 2, meaning there's only so much lore that can be dropped preemptively, else half the community won't have a clue what's going on when the game comes out. Regardless, I'll be covering it all the way to launch, so stay tuned, and expect my side stories of Payday on Texas Heat to be released soon after the Crude Awakening heist goes live. Finally, for those of you who've made it all the way through this video, don't forget my partnership with Apex Gaming PCs. There's a ton to be excited for within Payday 2 at the moment, and sadly the only way to enjoy that right now is by playing on PC, which is why I value our partnership as much as I do, so check them out from the link in the description if your interest has been piqued. That said, thank you so much for watching, I'll see you all very soon in the next video. A huge thank you to my dedicated Patreon backers. If you want to join this crew in going infamous, check out the link below and pledge as little as $2 to see your name in the credits, or get 24-hour early access to future videos and vote on upcoming content. Take care, I'll see you all soon.